Hey, good morning, traders. Tuesday, November 15th. It's 8:12 a.m. Got school duty today, so we're going to do the companion morning ideas. Okay, so this 40-10 area that we've been talking about now for a long time loomed large again. So if we can go here to, this is the smaller picture. I have it on a 1 minute chart right now because I was trying to show something yesterday. So let's go back to the 15, and we can see that yesterday we went. Here we go again. We went to. You remember we talked about yesterday how, and I may even have it still up on the bigger picture, but for us to push towards 40-10 again and look for a failure. I was looking for a failure, so we actually broke. Here's 40-10 right here. We broke through it. We were looking for some kind of a failure and then a pullback to 40-10, and this was beautiful. You could actually see it a little bit better on a smaller chart. It didn't happen till the afternoon, but I can show you maybe on like a 5 minute from yesterday. So here it is. Here's 40-10 right here. So we pushed through it. We pulled back, and then we pulled right back to 40-10, and then we sold off the rest of the day. Now, what this means really is that it doesn't mean that we necessarily, and I think I said this yesterday, and I want to make a point. This was my big point for the day, is I didn't want you guys to think that when we're looking at an area for, this is, they call it counter trend, because in the immediate term, this is kind of against the trend, looking for a short here. But it doesn't mean that this has to be like the permanent turning point, 40-10, that the market has to stop dead in its tracks here and it's going to turn around and go down 200 points. And these are areas where we typically see the market pulling back to try to gain more, to find more buyers, gain some steam, gain some steam, and then push again and try again. And we keep knocking on the door, knock on the door, knock on the door, knock on the door, and then we'll finally break through, and then that'll be the end of 40-10, really. And we may test it. We may, finally, when we break through for good, we trade a bunch up here. Let me lock this. We trade a bunch up here after we break through, and then you'll see some kind of a pullback to that 40-10. And then the market kind of starts walking itself higher to the next level. This is typically what we see. And again, we were talking yesterday about those like head and shoulder. Everybody likes to call them head and shoulder patterns. It's just a failure as we push through and then fall back into the range. And that's what we did yesterday. Overnight, it looks more trendy. It looks like we've been above the VWAP the entire night, even though majority of the trade was here in the middle. It still looks like trend. It looks trendy to me. Trading 40-10 near the highs, likely on the open to take out the overnight high, and that puts us right above that 40-10 level. I don't really like to open right on a key level like this because I like to see the market approaching those levels instead of starting right on top of it. I think it's a bit harder to see what's going on when we're starting right on top of a level. But big picture, if we go back to the big picture here. This is on a day. I got to switch this back to 4 hours here. Here we can see, make it bigger. We can see where that 40-10 level comes from. And we're trading up against it again. So I would actually expect the more that we trade here, the more that some people like to call this a flag. The market rips up and then we flag at the highs. The more likely scenario at this point is that we finally push through and we start walking up towards 4,100, right? So that's what I'm expecting today. The longer we sit here and trade here at 40-10, the more likely we are to break that 40-10 wall down. I don't see it as, we see some traders, and I don't want to say foolishly because that's not the right word, but they think just because an area is holding that it's going to hold forever. And actually, the more touches and the more we trade at an area, the more likely it is to break. Okay. And we did some statistical studies that date back, 10, 15 years that say, double, triple tops are really, really likely to break actually, and instead of being, big turning points where people think that, this would be, for instance, the high because it's going to make a triple top. I actually think when we see a triple top, we're going to break through it, and we have some, statistical research to back that up. So that's it for today. We're trading on 4010. I expect some kind of breakthrough. If we're gonna go anywhere and we're gonna push, I think that we're more likely at this point to break through from here. My relative volume is not loading correctly, so I apologize for that. I can't get the volume up the way I want. So anyway, 15-minute. I'm sorry, it's kind of been a technical difficulties day to day. 67%. So the volume is pretty low to be trending. That's why you see that still the VPOC is still kind of sitting in the middle, and we haven't really traded a whole bunch at the highs. Nevertheless, we're still trading at 4010 right now, which is right on that area. And I would expect to see some kind of a breakthrough. Okay, so that's it for today. Let us know if you guys have any questions, and please, the time on the World Cup promo is running out, so make sure you take advantage of that if you've got a chance. All right, guys, talk to you later.